Bum 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 bum.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jojo Movies Are Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
This is gonna be a spoilers review of Won-Jin, talking about the
Yeah,
latest
that's
Mission
right.
Impossible movie.
Joe, I think he's at some point he's lost interest in the franchise of Mission Impossible.
I can be honest.
So,
I did.
I went to watch the last one, The Final Reckoning, which is like a continuation from the 7th movie, The Dead Reckoning, Dead Reckoning Part 1. And, I gotta say that this, in Korean, this is like Shiwon Sopsop.
What do you mean?
So, you feel... What's the word for this? It's kind of like good riddance, sort of.
Good
Yeah,
riddance? That's
It's
negative,
like-
man.
Yeah, but it's like, how many world-saving missions can one person possibly hold?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's still better than Fast and Furious, because remember, those guys were thieves to begin with. Why are they saving the world? We at least know Tom Cruise was in this secret, like mission, like impossible mission force, whatever
But
it's
what
called.
you just title it a grand finale for the franchise? How could you
Yeah.
say that? Good riddance. That doesn't make sense, man.
It's I know if this wasn't the last installment of the franchise, I might badmouth it.
Oh yeah.
But because it's the last one, I can't understand. It's like, oh, okay, so this is how they're gonna wrap it
God,
all
you
up.
sound like a fanboy, man. If you're gonna shit on it, shit on it.
Yeah.
You sound like you want to shit on it, but you have too much loyalty to the
Okay,
brand.
So, like, one problem. Let's talk about the problems first.
I have a
It's
feeling there's
too-
gonna be more than one problem.
Yo, it's too long.
Oh yeah.
It's like 3 hours long, and if you watch like the movie throughout the whole movie, you can tell that the movie is divided into 3 acts. Sort
Okay.
of, yeah, 3 different acts. But still, it's too long, and I'm not really comfortable with watching a movie where I have this where I get this urge to use the bathroom because I've been like eating popcorn and drinking Coke. So yeah, I think this movie could have done without in 15 minutes or 20
What's up,
minutes.
Zezzy? Yeah, you
So
also
maybe
watched it?
2.5 hours could have been good enough. But so first of all, it's too long.
Oh, Zezzy felt like it was too long too.
I agree. And second, it's
What's up?
so Dead Reckoning basically is like this war against AI. So you gotta
Okay.
save the world from this master AI that could destroy the world.
That's called Terminator, motherfucker.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like Skynet basically.
Oh my god.
And the previous Mission Impossible, the stake was not this high.
Okay.
I mean, remember the first one, it was about Tom Cruise trying to stop John Voight from selling those knock lists, like the undercover CIA agent list.
Yeah.
That was his job.
Okay.
Like, stop that secret from being leaked. The second one was, what was it, like this special virus called Chimera?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was stopping this
There's
biological
always
weapon
something
from
going
spreading.
on. Yeah.
The third one was about rabbit's foot, and it was hinted that it was also some sort of like biochemical weapon
Yeah,
or
it
something.
was chemical weapon. I remember that one.
And then the stakes continued to just get higher and higher and higher, and now Tom Cruise is the only person who stands in the way against this like Skynet from taking over the world.
Yo, Won-Jin, I gotta cut you off, man. I feel like your title is dishonest. You're pretty shitting on the movie.
Yo.
Are you sure this was a great finale to the
Yeah,
series?
I'm setting this up so I don't get shit on when I praise the movie later
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, let me praise. Oh, Zezzy's here. I was sitting there and my back started to hurting for the first time while I was watching. That's the kind of movie I hate, Zezzy.
And in my case, my butt starts hurting because I was sitting too long. My butt starts to hurt.
All right.
So this also happened in the movie. So those two, they were kind of getting on my nerves. It's like, yeah, okay. So Tom Cruise, he is doing this, but like he's the only person who can stop this AI. Really? It's like, why does he have to be all alone in this mission?
Wait, what about his team? His team is not there anymore?
His
Simon
team is
Pegg?
still there, but remember, this is dealing not with like national security crisis. This is about the end of the world. Isn't he supposed to get like all the support he needs and all the resources? I mean, yes, he does get some support with the help of the president of the United States, but I mean, does he really have to be like doing the solo shit? I'm not really convinced, but it's forgivable because this is the end of the franchise.
Man, fuck you, man. You sound
Now-
like a fanboy.
I am a fan of the Mission Impossible franchise.
All right.
I like it. And like I mentioned with every time Tom Cruise is brought up, his movie always manages to entertain me.
No, but Won-Jin, I gotta be honest. You don't watch Mission Impossible for the plot. Don't you watch it for the action sequences and
Yeah, that too.
resolution of it?
And it always also has these like comic reliefs, these like goofy moments.
Like so, it's like Blockbuster. It's a blockbuster. So my question is, as a blockbuster, how was it?
Yo, it was insane.
Oh
It
yeah.
was crazy because I don't know when it started. I think it was from like Rogue Nation or maybe Ghost Protocol. Is that the one where he's hanging outside an airplane?
You know better than I do.
I think that was it. Ghost
That was the
Protocol.
fifth one or the fourth.
Or was it Rogue Nation? I'm not sure. Oh, I think it's from Rogue Nation. We know, kind of like the old 90s Jackie Chan movies from the 80s and 90s, we know that he's not using a stunt double. We know that he's doing all the action on his own. He's doing all his own stunts. That kind of gets us more invested in watching the movie because we know he's actually doing it.
Okay.
The same thing kind of applies to, the recent Mission Impossible movies because we know that he's basically like risking his life filming those scenes. And
That's called marketing, man.
yeah. And we know that he's basically like grinding everything he's got to make sure that we're entertained. And I appreciate that. And in the previous Dead Reckoning movie, I think he was piloting his own helicopter, and then in Rogue Nation was the motorcycle racing and the hanging outside the airplane. Yo, in this one, he's basically like hanging upside down on a propeller plane. And he's doing that for like 10 minutes
Wait, on a
prop plane. Let me show
On
you the
the
picture
propeller?
of it. Yeah.
the
Not
actual.
the actual plane. Hold on.
No. But I'm talking about the
Final
part of
Reckoning.
the helicopter. Is he on?
Oh
the
no, that's
propeller?
the Dead Reckoning. He pilots the helicopter on his own.
Okay.
And in Final Reckoning, look at this. Yeah, that's him right there.
That looks like Tom Cruise having a good time.
Yeah, and 100 things could go wrong right there and kill you in an instant.
No, but my man, Won-Jin, that doesn't prove if the movie is good or not. How does that seem?
Yo, you talked about its blockbuster qualities.
Right.
Exactly.
I did.
And we're living in a world where it's so convenient to create action scenes using CGI and everything. This is becoming rare.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because this is real live action.
How did it show in the film itself though? Can you
could-
feel the
Yeah, you could really feel that with
Okay.
one
Oh,
slip,
okay.
he's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it gives you that tension. And like I said, there are like 3 different acts, and each of these acts have like a different action sequences. So I think it all happens in like land and sea and air. So I think that's the last act, the airplane. And the second act is where he needs to go through this like deep dive to approach this sunken submarine.
Oh, there's a
the
sunken submarine.
Yeah, in the Arctic, because there's this submarine accident in Dead Reckoning, the 7th movie, and there's something hidden there that needs to be retrieved. So he needs to get there, and the movie spends a lot of time kind of explaining the dangers of deep sea diving, because we all played in swimming pools and we just dive in and we get out. But when you're doing like deep sea diving, there's a lot of shit that we like average people don't know about. I think there's this like condition that you face when you come back to the surface too quickly.
All right, Won-Jin, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but did you what's the grade on? Let's start with the number grade, man.
I would give this movie A 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah, I could give this one a 7.5.
No, but isn't that the least generous you gave a Mission Impossible though? I felt like you always gave like 8 to other ones.
And I told you that I'm only being forgiving because I know that this is the last one.
Oh my god, you sentimental geezer! Be honest, like what's the real grade?
I would give it. Yeah, that's the real grade. I would give it a 7.5. And I mean, since this is the last one, this is like the final goodbye. I could give it an 8, but I would give it a 7.5 because I think that's what it actually deserves.
My man, didn't we watch the last like 007 with Daniel Craig? What do we think about that one? The one with the virus and the really Malek.
No Time to Die.
Yeah, No Time to Die.
Yeah,
Didn't we call that video Plenty of Time to Die because it was also 3 hours long and it tried to conclude it? Didn't we give that like a 6 or something, my man?
That is inferior.
Oh, okay.
To the Final Reckoning.
Oh, so this one was done better.
I think this was done better than James Bond, No Time to Die.
Oh, wait, let's read some comments. Like the president just sits there and crying and he's doing everything alone. Tom Cruise, and not to mention running. I'm not against it, but running in a city full of... No, but Tom Cruise running is part of Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it's iconic.
So Zezzy gives us 7 void.
Oh yeah, decompression sickness. Yeah, that's it.
I knew it. Honestly, Tom Cruise looked tired and old. Okay.
I heard because when you're doing deep sea diving, because of the water pressure, I'm not exactly sure if I'm right, but I think like the nitrogen in the air and everything kind of like blends into your blood, and if you come back out and the water pressure is gone, like some shit happens. So the movie spends a lot of time explaining that. It kind of explains all that to let us know what's at stake with what happens under the sea. So that submarine action was also very well done.
Okay. So what you're trying to say, let me articulate it for you, my man. The set pieces were great. But the story, what about the story? You're telling me the set pieces were great.
Yeah, the set pieces were great. The action sequences were great. But you're talking about the plot.
Yeah.
But I have to start bad-mouthing it because the plot is like a continuation from the 7th movie, Dead Reckoning.
Okay, part
I
1.
didn't like the story from there.
Okay.
I wasn't too fond of this AI shit.
So, so how is AI presented? Is it just basically like a story device? There's an AI that's evil and they don't explain it? Or is it...
Yeah, they don't explain it too much.
Okay.
So it's basically like this AI, like malware gone rogue, and it becomes sentient. And then...
Skynet.
Yeah, it tries to like manipulate like digital information. So it tries to grab power, and then it starts cultivating this like following. People who
I really don't like this movie.
So I thought, I mean, it's Mission Impossible. It could have gone with like a more classic villain. It didn't really have to go this AI.
Oh wait, I have a question. So there's no like a human villain in the movie?
I mean, yes, there is a human villain. The guy, the drug cartel guy from Ozark.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Isai Morales, I think that's his name. He's basically like his name is Gabriel. Okay. And you can instantly tell why his name is Gabriel. He's basically following the orders of the AI.
Okay. From God.
Yeah, but he's human, but he's basically following orders of the AI, and he's like this supposed like nemesis of Tom Cruise from like way back. They do a very poor job at explaining what happened in the past. They just show us this like scene that is supposed to be a flashback where he kills Tom Cruise's like colleague or something. So I didn't like the story from the get-go.
Okay.
So I cannot really praise the plot.
Oh, but wait, the story was not remarkable because there was nothing new or revolutionary. It had the same vibe as the old ones. Okay. And I'm not sure what the obsession would be making people's eyes overly wet all the time. What's she talking about? What's that?
You know how like in certain like scenes in Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise always has these like teary puppy eyes.
Yeah.
I think the most remarkable one was from Mission Impossible 3, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
When he was about to execute his wife to know about the whereabouts, of the rabbit's foot. And Tom Cruise kind of pleads, like, please don't. And he has those, like, teary eyes. And I think it We see that in every movie. But in my case, that didn't really bother me. Oh, nitrogen dissolves in your bloodstream, and surfacing rapidly can cause a bubble in your blood. Yeah, I think that's what happens with the water pressure. Like how carbon dioxide fizzes in Coke when opened, but in your bloodstream. So that can cause trouble.
Yo, Walker, let's talk about that in Let's Talk, man. So
I'm not against showing emotion. I'm actually for showing emotion, but this watery eye thing was too much, I swear.
So, Won-Jin, let me ask you a very important question. Do you think I'll like it?
I think you would probably give it around like the same grade as I did, like maybe 6 or 7.
Oh yeah.
You're not gonna think this
It's bad.
think too highly of this movie, but you're not gonna think it was terrible.
Oh yeah. So it's not trash.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still think peak Mission Impossible was around 3. Mission Impossible 3 was like the best one in my opinion.
Well, Hoffman,
regardless, I mean, not like considering the first one, because the original is always, it's undisputable. But 3 was like the best one besides the first one. And I think it starts going kind of downhill. I thought after 3, Rogue Nation was awesome. And then it was like, Fallout, I don't even remember what exactly it was about. And Dead Reckoning, I watched it because it was Mission Impossible and because Tom Cruise always manages to entertain me. And since this was the last one, it had a lot of these surprising appearances of actors from the old Mission Impossible. For example, you remember like the first Mission Impossible, there was this guy named William Dunlow. He had to infiltrate the Langley headquarters to get that knock list in that computer room, remember? And then this guy gets injected, not injected, he ingests this shit in his coffee and he kind of throws up in that room. That guy makes an appearance in this movie. And a lot of, spoiler alert, I mean, it's already written on the title, but a lot of Tom Cruise's buddies, they die here.
Yo, can I say something? Fuck all of them. What you explained to me sound like a lot of mushy garbage to show great set pieces. And am I being too harsh? Like, I don't know, man. Like, don't you think Mission Impossible, around the 4th one, the plot, like, the story started to not matter anymore?
Nah, the story always didn't matter because it was always about resolving this impossible mission.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's right, because it's Mission Impossible.
So they
remember?
so I want to explain that. So they set up an impossible mission. They have to do a plausible action scenes that make it seem like Tom Cruise and the crew are trying to solve it. And it doesn't need to be like 100% true, but it needs to be flashy, but also like logically, like within the story at least, like comprehensible.
Yeah.
So that in that way, did this movie succeed?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think there's always this element of luck because things always don't go as planned, and they always need to find solutions on the spot.
So I have a question: is this movie like our father generation will love it kind of movie?
I think they're gonna think it's too long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they would love it, and every person who saw like the first Mission Impossible in the theaters would love it, but they would. I guarantee you, they're gonna think it's too long.
Okay.
Oh, Void, that's right. The third Mission Impossible was the peak of the franchise. I agree. That one was the best.
That's one with the Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Remember the bridge scene?
Yeah, the bridge scene.
I don't need to see YouTube video to remember that the F-16 comes down and shoots a missile.
The drone.
Yeah,
the drone shoots the missile and he gets thrown to the car, and then his wife gets kidnapped.
Yeah, exactly. I think Tom Cruise is going to cruise off to retirement. Jin, do you think Tom Cruise should give up on action? I don't know, Walker. That's up to Tom Cruise, don't you think? Hey, how was Tom Cruise in the movie?
He was. I mean, yes, we can see that he's aged, but he can still pull off those action scenes really, really well.
The Dildo took my baby. What are you talking about?
I think very good movie. I mean, I believe Tom Cruise still has a lot to offer to the audiences. He doesn't even have to do action movies. He can still manage to entertain us with drama And also, he's surprisingly good with comedy. We've seen him in Tropic Thunder, man.
Yeah, that's
Les
true.
Grossman, yo, that character stole the whole movie. We know what he's capable of. So even without action-packed movies like Mission Impossible, I'm sure he'll still be around. He's not gonna retire. So this was like a grand goodbye to Mission Impossible, and I think it was very respectful to the diehard fans of Mission Impossible.
Okay. So what's your number grade again, man?
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, I would give it a 7.5.
Oh, he's old and he. Guys, you guys are so mean, man.
Of course he's old.
No, but me and Won-Jin, we grew up with Tom Cruise. What's the
Yeah.
one with the Jack Nicholson and all that? Like his court drama, the military court drama movie. Tom Cruise.
You can't handle the truth.
Exactly. Guys, stop being so mean, guys.
A Few Good Men. That was the name of the movie. A Few Good Men.
So Zezzy gives it a 7. Won-Jin gives it a 7.5.
7.5. And considering it's the last installment, I can give it an 8.
Yo, man, stop! What's up with the sympathetic vote?
See, this is why I shit on the movie in the beginning.
All right. Oh my god, this is like some Korean loyalty shit going on. So Jojin movie so awesome. Give this movie an 8. Hey, I gotta say, after listening to Won-Jin, I'm for sure not watching this movie. I'm for sure not watching this movie. If it is on cable, I might watch it. That's the feeling I get. Wait, take Chris Pratt for example. No, but Walker, like, don't tell me, Joe. I thought he was handsome when I was a teenager. Oh my God, guys. I guess actors are product in that way. But anyway, guys, this has been Jojin Movie So Awesome. Hey, listen, Zed. There are great old actors like Ian McKellen. There we go, Void. Thank you. And what about the recently
Anthony Hopkins,
Sean
Connery. Sean Connery was better when he was old.
Yeah, the Unforgiven, opposite Clint Eastwood. Gene Hackman. There we go. So Walker, I'm gonna counter that. Some actors can still maintain,
and some actors are better when they're old than they're young.
So Jojin Movie So Awesome gives
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning a 7.5.
7.5.
And before I finish, I fucking hated it when they killed off Ilsa Faust in the previous movie, Dead Reckoning. Rebecca Ferguson dies in the 7th one.
She probably didn't want to be in the movie anymore.
But remember, that's the one that introduced her to Hollywood. That was her break moment.
That doesn't mean she wants to keep doing this shit.
Man, that was such a waste. And Captain America's Peggy Carter becomes
yo. Now that you said that, I have a guess. Rebecca Ferguson is a popular actress right now, so she probably couldn't meet the schedule, so they decided to kill her off. How about that?
Maybe.
That's probably likely.
But I thought that was a waste of character because she was so awesome.
But anyway, Jojin Movie So Awesome. Well, Won-Jin gives it a 7.5, and I nodded. So, anyway, if you want to check out Mission Impossible, check it out. We're going to take a short break and come back with Let's Talk. This has been Jojin Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
We'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.
Bye.
I got to take a piss.
There are men that age like wine, and even if they're dinosaurs, they still look handsome on the screen like Defoe.
That's true.
That's true. George Clooney's actually better looking than he was young. So, Jin, what do you think about the opening of Lazarus? We're going to talk about this in the Let's Talk session, but I don't know. My initial impression is I'm kind of I'm not too impressed with the way the exposition is going. I think I saw the first 2 episodes, and I don't know if it feels it doesn't feel up to maybe it's unfair to compare it to Cowboy Bebop, but I don't think it's up to par with something like Cowboy Bebop. I still like the idea of like this threat to humanity that they're all gonna die in like 30 days. But I think it could have been done better. Right. We'll be right back.